right away, he knew he was in trouble.
Heartbreak.
It's just that signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
Hope. Halliburton on the mend. Caitlin on a roll. Indy moves from the NBA Finals spotlight to hosting the WNBA All-Star Game. We break down the economic impact for Indianapolis. Plus, we get the down low on a new group making big noise, attracting business, investment, and jobs to Marion County.
There we go.
Purdue University living up to its historic role as an aviation innovation leader. Details on a program putting more pilots in the cockpit. Inside Indiana Business is next.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and Liuna.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick here on a steamy day outside of Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where in just 3 weeks the WNBA All-Star Game will kick off. It will be another big impact for central Indiana businesses and business throughout the region, and another opportunity for Indiana basketball fans to get together following the Indiana Pacers' improbable, exciting run through the NBA playoffs all the way to the NBA Finals, which unfortunately ended in heartbreak.
He knew he was in trouble.
Pacer fans are still trying to get over what happened in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Tyrese Halliburton going down in the first quarter with a torn Achilles. He's on the mend now after successful surgery. So now the ball bounces to Indy's other basketball superstar and the city's next big event.
Here is Clark, launches and hits.
Caitlin Clark's mastery on the court, the threes, the passes, making her the top vote getter for the WNBA All-Star Game. All-Star Weekend on Caitlin's home court expected to pump millions of dollars into the local economy. Good luck finding a ticket. The game was sold out 5 hours after tickets went on sale. TV is your next best bet. Last year's game in Phoenix was the most watched WNBA All-Star Game in history. For more now on preparations going on in advance of the WNBA All-Star Game on the heels of hosting 3 NBA Finals games here, let's take it inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse as I sit down with Pacer Sports and Entertainment CEO Mel Raines. Mel, thank you for joining us at a very busy time. You barely had a chance to catch your breath from the Pacers' great run to the NBA Finals, now getting ready for the WNBA All-Star Game. I want to ask you about that, but first, to kind of put a bow on the Pacers' run and what that has meant for the franchise and the city.
It was, it was incredibly special, I think magical in a lot of ways, and Herb put out a statement on Monday to the fans, and just the way the fans and our city and our state embraced the team and how the team performed over the course of 2 months. I mean, it's an additional, basically it's a quarter of an NBA season over 9 weeks. It was, I think, 21 or 22 more games, and they were just phenomenal. It was fantastic to be a part of. It was great to see us grow a new generation of fans, invigorate our fan base, and hopefully it's not the last time we'll be playing all the way to summer solstice.
The Pacers' playoff run, 9 weeks, 11 home games, generated tens of millions of dollars in economic impact, record hotel demand, and more than 5 billion social media impressions during the finals alone. Now it's on to the next.
It's a short window between the two. They're really, the NBA Finals and the WNBA All-Star Game, but no other city could do it better than we're about to do it. Our goal when we announced we were going to host this was to redefine how the WNBA looks at their All-Star Weekend, and I think we're going to do nothing less than that. We're going to activate downtown as we always do. The Circle, the middle block of Georgia Street, and Morris Bicentennial Plaza will be active. Being able to include our entire community in the event was important to us, and then rolling out the orange carpet, as they say in the WNBA, for the best female basketball players in the world, and we're going to do no less than that.
The All-Star Game is also viewed as an opportunity to advance a stated goal of the Indiana Sports Corporation to make Indianapolis the epicenter of women's sports.
I mean, it fits exactly into what the pillar that they announced is, and being able to host the best events in the world for female athletes. And we have the women's Final Four coming in 28 right after this, and And this premier event is exactly what we should be doing if we want to be the epicenter of women's sports.
The game will also showcase investment by the Simon family in downtown Indianapolis, in particular, the burgeoning Fieldhouse district.
It's incredible, and what Herb Simon and the Simon family have invested in Indianapolis over the better part of 50 years now, and to see it, blooming in a way that they're just so incredibly proud of. And again, just a gift to the fans. And we'll be doing our groundbreaking for the Fever Performance Center soon, and that's construction will be starting, and I anticipate further investment. There's a lot of potential in downtown, and Herb is very bullish on it, and we want to keep investing in the city that's done so much for their family and for these teams.
As Mel Raines has described it, hoops heaven right here in Indiana. Well, certainly basketball is not the only big cog in the Indianapolis sports wheel. There's a new study that shows just how much motorsports means to the economy throughout the entire state. Indianapolis-based performance racing industry with new research on the impact of motorsports across the country. Some big numbers. Overall, a $69.2 billion economic driver, including 318,000 jobs.
Let's go racing on turn number 4.
And it's not just the big races like Indy. The PRI report includes dirt track racing, as well as truck and motorcycle competition. Indiana playing a big part in the overall numbers. $2.75 billion in economic impact, producing more than 11,000 jobs. Well, coming up next, convincing companies to call Indianapolis home. We look at a new group working to bring investment and jobs to the city with a very familiar leader. I'll be back in studio for that and the rest of the show after this. Back here in studio now with a look at new firepower going into attracting new investment and jobs to Indianapolis. Indy Economic Development was officially launched at the beginning of the year. Its leader, well, a very familiar face, a man with extensive experience in the field of economic development. Indy Economic Development President and CEO Jim Schellinger, former Secretary of Commerce. And Jim, always great to see you.
Great to see you again.
Yeah, let's talk about Indy Economic Development, kind of the next iteration of Develop Indy, really focused specifically on Indianapolis and Marion County.
Yeah, we have to turn ourselves, make sure we're Indy Economic Development at the speed of business, and that's something that's going to be very important to us. And we want to make sure that we are in the most exciting time I can remember in Indianapolis. You look around, we see cranes, we see things going on. Pacers just go to the final game of the NBA Finals. There's so much happening in Indianapolis right now, and we just need to build on that.
Let's talk of some of the focus areas. We'll talk successes in a couple of minutes, but first, I know you've got a big focus on headquarter companies and attracting more headquarters companies to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think the beauty of Indianapolis is we talk about live, work, play. Live, work, play, stay. I add stay to it. And I want to work really hard, to, as I did when I was secretary, to reach out internationally, all to the other 49 and all over the world, to bring headquarters here. We want to take care of Indiana first, and take care of Indianapolis, take care of Marion County. But there's no reason why we can't attract these headquarters. And one of the keys to that, hopefully, will be international flights.
Well, let's talk about that, because that was my next question. International flights are now a big focus. Why is that so important?
Well, you're connected to the world. I mean, in the state of Indiana, we're a 12-hour drive from 83% of the population. We're a 4-hour drive from the third largest economy in the world in Chicago. But to be really connected with the #1 airport in North America, we need those international flights. We had Paris, we lost that to the pandemic, but we were this close. We had the deal basically of British Airways to London. We had Lufthansa on the hook for Frankfurt, Aeromexico for Mexico City, and we were working on Japan Airlines for Tokyo. Being connected to the world in that manner it's just so valuable to business.
Great example of a global company is Roche. One of the success stories you've already put on the books, major expansion at Roche, their North American headquarters of Roche Diagnostics. Huge investment, a lot of jobs, high-paying jobs, $500+ million investment. want to see more of those, I'm sure.
And, you know, Roche, I have a soft spot in my heart for Roche because I used to do a lot of architecture work out there when I was working at CSO. And I've been to Bern 3 times to their headquarters there in Switzerland. And they are just the finest people. And the fact that they are continuing to invest in Indianapolis speaks volumes of how, you know, they could go anywhere. We competed very strongly with Boston and Tucson, and we're very fortunate to have won out.
Let's talk about the big unique selling propositions of Indianapolis for companies like Roche or Kimball. Novartis, big expansion as well. But as you look at competitors like Nashville, Columbus, Ohio, Austin, Texas, how do you sell against those markets?
Go back to great place to live, work, play, and stay. We have great residential communities all around our city. We got to help young people buy homes, set up roots in neighborhoods and stay. If we help them buy homes, well, they'll stay in our city. We've got venues, whether it be entertainment or sports. You know, as you know, Gary, a long time ago, some people put together a plan to do sports. We got the single largest sporting spectacle in the world, the Indianapolis 500, and we've got the Colts, we've got the Pacers, we've got the Indians, we've got businesses, Cummings, Lilly, Elanco, you name it. We've got just great companies, great businesses. And you know, people in Indianapolis are just good people.
30 seconds left, Jim. We saw some pictures a moment ago of the Signia Hotel downtown under construction, 38-story hotel. Elanco's corporate headquarters will open in a few months. Lots going on. Is the momentum downtown something that you look to sell and leverage as you go out for company?
For sure, because it's unlike I've seen before. And I spoke with a group of young people, and I said, boy, if you can't get excited right now in Indianapolis, there's not much to get excited about. And as you know, I just came back from Le Mans. We signed a sister city agreement with Le Mans the weekend of the 500, and we went over to Le Mans to sign one there. So with the 24-hour Le Mans and what we have going here, there's a lot of relationships that we're working on that are going to pay dividends down the road.
Yeah, I'm sure Motorsports will be a big focus. Jim Schellinger, the president and CEO of Indy Economic Development. Jim, great to see you as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Well, up next, how Purdue is tackling and taking flight to tackle the pilot shortage.
There's no feeling like it. If I had to pick a superpower, it would be to fly.
Purdue's unique approach to get more pilots in the cockpit in this week's Eye on Education.
Here's what's making news around Indiana, brought to you by the Indiana Association of Realtors. Indiana's 21,000 realtors, the neighbors you know, the experts you can count on.
And we begin with fallout from Governor Mike Braun's signing of Senate Bill 1, which is intended to provide tax relief to homeowners. But some Indiana cities are sharing concerns about its potential impact. Case in point in northern Indiana, where Goshen Mayor Angie Lichty tells our partners at WSBT the bill could bring a 30% reduction in revenue. The city says discussions are underway on ways to generate new revenue, but there are limitations on what local governments can do. In southeast Indiana, there could be new life for a historic site. The Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites had announced it would be closing the Whitewater Canal State Historic Site in Metamora this year. But the Indiana Economic Development Corporation this week gave the organization notice about a possible $7 million grant to help fund a preservation project. It's welcome news to business and tourism leaders like Alan Stegner.
The shopkeepers are there. They're not going anywhere. The canal is a vital part of history, but that's not what draws everybody, to the town. It's part of our history that we do not want to lose.
The organization must accept the proposal, and there will also be an environmental review and financial assessment. Our Marek Mazurek has much more on this story right now at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. Well, farmers are more optimistic about current and future economic conditions. That according to new data from Purdue University. The latest Purdue CME Group Ag Economy Barometer has hit its highest level since May of 2021. Purdue cites a much more optimistic view of U.S. ag export prospects, combined with a less negative view of tariff impacts. The data is calculated from 400 ag producers across the country each month. And for those looking for a summer sweet treat, a historic Jeffersonville business was just voted the best in the entire country. Schempf's Confectionery opened in 1891 in downtown Jeffersonville and still uses some of its original recipes. It won the award from USA Today readers.
Time now for our Eye on Education, brought to you by PNC Bank.
Well, we've reported throughout the year on record passenger numbers and new flights being added at airports throughout the state. But there's a big challenge: not enough pilots. A look now at how Purdue Global is addressing the issue by helping students nationwide prepare for takeoff.
Slowly bring it up like a little bit maybe.
From cockpit to classroom, Purdue Global is helping train the next generation of aviation professionals. With flight school partners in more than 150 cities across the country, adult learners can take online classes and get flight training close to home.
It's helped me balance out with my flight training, work, and with my education. So I really appreciate the combination that they provide. Once I got into a plane and got up there with one of the instructors, I knew I really wanted to do it.
Purdue Global partner Jet Access is seeing interest in flight schools take off. They have 7 schools across the Midwest, including 4 in Indiana.
We just couldn't keep up with the demand, so we've added, I think, over 20 aircraft over the last 5 years. We also want to give our students options to pursue a college degree if that's something they're interested in.
A 2025 aviation talent forecast projects 300,000 new pilots will be needed over the next 10 years, and the number of commercial aircraft is expected to grow by 35%.
The goal is to get your knowledge, skills, and abilities and to get into the workforce. Students will achieve their private pilot certificates all the way through commercial CFI, and then those credits will transfer into the Purdue Global program.
As students further their education,
that's the avgas that we use in these planes.
They're also fueling a talent pipeline for Jet Access.
Years ago, we really struggled to find flight instructors. We had to post jobs externally. But now we just have a constant pipeline of qualified flight instructors to where we almost only hire internally now.
Zero fuel used.
Caden Carpenter is one of those flight instructors and a senior at Purdue Global.
Teach people how to fly airplanes the best I can. Just try to do it better than whoever was before me, which sometimes is pretty hard. I wouldn't mind staying as a flight instructor for a pretty long time. I have a ton of fun doing it. Flying an airplane is flying an airplane no matter where you're at, but the people here are awesome.
Having a degree can also open up new cockpits and help graduates take off on different career paths.
They become a flight instructor with us to build their flight time, and then with that college degree, it makes them a little bit more competitive when they apply for jobs, whether it's at the airlines or with charter companies.
There's no feeling like it. If I had to pick a superpower, it would be to fly.
And construction continues on the new Amelia Earhart Terminal at Purdue University Airport in West Lafayette. The nearly $12 million project is expected to open in August. Well, up next for you, a move in northeast Indiana to put more surgical techs in the workforce. Plus, Notre Dame students sowing the seeds of success through healthy snack innovation. How munching on water lily seeds while cramming for school turned into a successful business venture.
That's really good. Wow. I didn't even know you can eat water lily seeds.
Well, popped water lily seeds could be the next hot, healthy snack on the market. And Notre Dame students have developed a recipe that could soon put their lily seed product on the market. It's just one of the health stories we've got for you this week. And we start in Northeast Indiana, where a new partnership is opening doors for the next generation of surgical technicians. Business of Health reporter Kylie Valletta here now with more. Kylie.
Thanks, Gary. This is a big story with an impact. It means free tuition and guaranteed jobs with benefits. The two big names teaming up in the Fort Wayne area to make it happen are Parkview Health and Trine University. Beginning this fall, up to 10 students entering Trine's associate degree program in surgical technology will have paid tuition through forgivable loans, plus a job at Parkview with benefits while taking classes. And when students complete the program, they'll become surgical technologists at Parkview. Trine leaders say the program helps Parkview by filling a need for more surgical technologists and helps its students by providing a job with benefits.
We understand that many of our students are returning learners, they have families, and they do have that need to carry things like health insurance, both for themselves and for their families.
Trine says the program means students won't have to choose between working or furthering their education, and they can complete their degree in 17 months. Also in Northeast Indiana, Taylor University just got the green light on a new physician assistant master's program. 40 students are enrolled to start the PA program in August. It comes on the heels of Taylor's new nursing program, which launched earlier this year. A late-night cramming session has sprouted a snack startup. The 3 students who recently graduated from Notre Dame's MBA program were munching on popped water lily seeds sent from family in India when the study session turned into a business idea. Just days ago, NutriPop won a $25,000 top prize at an Agrinovus, Indiana pitch competition. The team compares the light, crunchy snack to popcorn. The popped water lily seeds have 50% more protein than popcorn, less fat, and fewer calories. NutriPop says the plant-based snack is made from just 3 clean ingredients, and the seeds are grown sustainably and ethically sourced from India.
While hypothetically we could have product in our hands today, we really want to do this right. And that means doing so much research, talking to so many people from just consumers to industry experts. And, we really want to do this right the first time. But we really want to make it accessible and convenient to people. So maybe you'll see us in places like convenience stores or, Hudson News in the airport, things you can just grab and go with.
NutriPop is hoping to move production to Indiana, taking advantage of the state's top ranking in popcorn production. The team has also connected with a Midwest food company interested in distributing NutriPop. An Indianapolis pediatrician and mom who launched a line of stainless steel dishes for kids to replace plastic is getting yet another accolade. Fast Company just named Dr. Manasa Mantravadi's startup, Ahimsa, as a world-changing idea. Experts say plastic foodware could leach hormone-disrupting chemicals into children's food. Ahimsa has a line of stainless steel home dishes and cafeteria products.
That is a great entrepreneurial story, and it really did, as you say, started in the home, but she's really expanded it.
Yeah, she's in elementary schools in 4 states, including schools here in Indiana. She's going to be a great one to watch. This is going to go big someday.
All right, great report as always. Thanks, Kylie.
Yep.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Indiana Business. We leave you this week with music from an Indianapolis staple, the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra at Conner Prairie. Go out and make it a great week.